Hey, what's up, Seekers? Wanugee, Golden Dragon Fortune. Over here, over here. Your K-Rap Psychic, and I'm here solo today. Maybe not with us. She's busy, but we're going to go on with the show. And so, welcome, y'all. Welcome, you Seekers. But thanks for joining. And um, wanted to do some things that have to do with some girl groups, fourth generation girl groups, and we're going to do that today. And the well, let me show you what we're going to do today. We're going to look at a couple of new members that have been revealed for Baby Monster, and that's Rora and Pharita. And then we're going to look at New Jeans. And New Jeans is one of these fourth generation girl groups. And there's so many that came out in the last year, maybe the last couple of years. But New Jeans has really been, really taken hold. And we'll take a look at that and see why, or get to know each member and look at their future and see how things will go. So that's what we're going to do. So if you haven't already, you can like and subscribe and join the party here, whether you watch us live or as a video after the fact. We appreciate it. And so, without further ado, let's get into our readings today. So let's look at Baby Monster. Baby Monster has been kind of been on the shelf for like a year, and now they're starting to trickle out and introduce everybody starting in January this year. And now we're on, we just announced number 5 and number 6, which was Rora and Pharita. So we'll look at them and a little background to them, and also just look at what the picture might holds for them. So let's do that next. So first one is Rora. Her real name is Hyein, and with Baby Monster. And let's see if I can get more here. She is only 14 years old. Is that right? Is that right? Anyway, I don't know if that's right. Did I update that? She's young. I mean, there's some young people here in Baby Monster for sure. Like Chiquita. She's only 13. Anyway, Rora. She was born, 2008, August 5th. Let's just confirm that. Let's see. What do I have in my notes here? Is that right? Yeah, born August 5th, 2008. So she's only 14. So I don't know. That's pretty young. But I guess you're call Baby Monsters for a reason. So you got a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, all old ones from there. So she's Korean, and she's a Leo, and as her zodiac astrology, and she's for Chinese astrology about her, she's a rat, which the rats kind of go good with monkeys and dragons. I'm a dragon, so anyway. She's the 5th member revealed by YG Entertainment. And they're kind of trickling out the information of each one of these girls. And it turns out she's a friend with Hyein of New Jeans. They were in a group. Excuse me. They're in a group when they were like 9 years old, 10 years old. They were in like a 5 or 7 member girl group that were like grade school kids, and I think it was called USSO, something like that. So they're friends. So it's kind of interesting. This is the connection between Baby Monster and New Jeans, which is Rora and Hyein, or Hyein and Hyein. So let's see what the towels say about Rora and her future. I'm not sure why they picked Rora as her name. I really don't know. But what they call her. I think they're going to call her Hyein, but they don't just call her Rora. Um, so let's just top say for her moving forward here. If she see how these all going to play out. But let's focus on Rora or Hyein, and like she was loves to entertain and perform, so she's been doing it for quite a while. And I guess she's been in YG for since this opening, which was I think about 3 or 4 years ago. So says that she's going to be shortly kind of reassessing her priorities and rearranging her priorities, and I guess maybe get ready for debut. And so she's going to be kind of arranging things in a different way, kind of looking things in a different way, because her life's about to change dramatically as they get revealed and put out there to debut. But she said it's not that she's going to be very happy about it. She's going to be very happy about the change finally, getting out of the YG dungeon and kind of moving out there. And she's going to be really busy talking, meeting, communicating. So she's going to have to be very flexible in her schedule and her time to allow for all that communication that you have to do, typically when they debut. They're going to be busy on a junket to kind of, promote themselves and so on. And it says that, as she moves forward into the second half of the year, there's going to be something else that she's going to be wanting to pursue, and it seems like it's going to be positive on how that comes out. There's going to be some positive developments probably around July, August, September, somewhere in that time frame. And it says that that's going to help her kind of recommit to her goals and objectives and our next goals and objectives. And she's going to be really more clear to her, and she's going to be very committed to doing them and getting them. So she's a very committed person, very ambitious and very driven. So she's looks like she's going to have a good year here, just like all the other baby washers have had so far, and when we do this review. So that's what it says for Rora from Baemon or Baby Monster. Both names are trademarked by YG Entertainment, and so let's hope the best for her. If you want, I haven't seen her little video. She's good. She's very good. All these girls are very good as far as vocal capabilities and training. You can see it there. And Rora is really, her vocal stylings are amazing. So she sings like she's only 14, but she seems like she's 10 years older. And, with styling and vocal control and texture to her singing, that is really remarkable for someone who's 14. So you might check out her video. I don't have it here, but you might check it out on Baby Monster. They have their own website. So that's what's going on with Rora. The next one is Pharita. I think the PH is not for the P in Thai. Pharita. So her real name is Pharita Chaikong, and she's Thai. She's from Thailand, just like Chiquita is. There's 2 Thai members of Baby Monster. And I know that, I think Lisa from Blackpink has been helping her out in kind of grooming her, giving her advice and direction, with Baby Monster, just kind of with they're so famous now and known around the world, and she went to that same concert in Thailand and Korean and performing. And this is amazing. She's got like 86 million Instagram followers. She's huge. Anyway, Pharita Chaikong, she's 17. She was born she's a 2005 liner, and she was born on the 26th of August. So she's a Virgo and a rooster in Chinese astrology. And she's the 6th member. The group Baby Monster has been revealed. So we have one left, I guess. The one left, I think it's going to be older, the oldest one, maybe? I don't know. kind of a mystery who that last one is. But let's look at Pharita and see what the sound say for her moving forward. And this year, 2023, kind of focus on her and what they say. We're trying from the center, working outwards in all these tiles. The says that she's going to have a lot of emotions and feelings come to her, and kind of a roller coaster ride in emotions over the next few months. But she's also going to feel like she's kind of coming of age, ready to kind of put herself out there as, as a female performer. Maybe as a girl kind of starting to come moving towards being a woman. And she's going to have some good luck. She's going to have some good luck and good fortune. This Five of Circles called the dragon, that's Golden Dragon Fortunes, and there's some good luck and good fortune for her. This peach represents young female energy, so obviously represents her. But also it's about creativity, maybe femininity and beauty, maybe a nice aesthetic. So those kinds of female energies about creativity and beauty and aesthetics and maybe more emotional content or connection. So that's what she's going to be going through. And it's going to be good luck for her. There's really good luck for her. And I think maybe she'll, maybe try to show an special talent creatively as she does it. She's got a great little video too. She sings a very strong voice, just like y'all do. And then there's something that comes up that has to do with the nice energy that's showing up. But she kind of knows about it before it happens. It's kind of funny through the fall. And through the decision or choice you're going to be making, maybe in the spring, into summer, that has to do with the fall in some way. So I'm not sure what that decision or choice is, but this represents a decision or choice. And this is a good sample, which represents the fall. But it's kind of showing up in the summer here, so she kind of knows about something in a decision or choice that leads to something that has to be done in the fall. And it says when the fall comes, she's going to be kind of putting herself out there a little bit and taking a little bit of risk and going towards something she desires or wants. And that's going to help her kind of change the way she sees herself and move forward in her maturity, kind of moving from, teenage girl to moving towards a woman. I mean, she's only 17, but she's going to turn 18, here in the fall or late summer. And it says it's going to change how she sees herself in the group and how she does things and where she does things. So, and it's going to be with the group. There's going to be a lot of busy energy toward the end of the year. These definite circles called the insect. It's like a beehive or an anthill. There's a lot of busy energy, but everybody in the beehive and anthill knows what to do. So it's very cooperative, collaborative with others. And there's 7 of them, just like there's 7 baby monsters. So maybe it'll be, maybe some travel or some things that they're going to be doing and changes in their schedule toward the end of the year. So maybe, I don't know, maybe come back, a little holiday thing. That may happen toward the end of the year with baby monster. Oops, sorry. So anyway, that's what it says for Pharita. So sounds good for her too, and the problem here with my tiles are slippery. But anyway, so that's it for Pharita. So sounds pretty good. I'm excited for their debut. I think everybody is. I thought most of those videos that have introduced these people have at least 10 million views. So a lot of people are obviously curious. This YG build-up is they're really good at how to build up things. What's interesting though, that New Jeans, did a different approach. We'll talk about that when we get into New Jeans. In fact, we're getting into the next. So I think this is going to be New Jeans is going to be one of the girl groups that are probably going to be have some staying power and have some growth. They do some things a little bit differently, but they're very popular now. They've only been out for 6 months, so they've already put out 4 songs. And yeah, 4 songs, and they're all the songs have been good. And then maybe six songs now. Let's look at the Baby Monster. Well, we're looking for the last one, the 7th member. So we'll look forward to that. And let's go to New Jeans. So New Jeans is this kind of girl group that's kind of taken over the charts and they're doing very well. Let's look at the next page. See what it says there. New Jeans, they're a 5-member girl group from South Korea. In fact, they were formed by Hyein Entertainment, which is formerly Big Hit, which is BTS's agency, and also, in Hyein. And I should do some in Hyein. I haven't done anything in Hyein yet. And also do tomorrow X Together, tomorrow By Together. It's also from Hyein. And Hyein really went through a crazy last few years. They kind of expanded. They found success of BTS, and they created a new entity, Hyein, instead of Big Hit. They bought out a couple other, absorbed a couple other labels or agencies. One is Source Entertainment, and created some new ones. And so they created a subsidiary called Adore or Adore. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but it's called Adore. And they brought over a really successful producer and person that puts together groups from SM Entertainment. She's female. Her name is Minji. And so New Jeans was kind of like Minji's, project as she came over from SM Entertainment and developed this program for Hyein Entertainment after being in SM Entertainment for a long time. And they kind of had open tryouts in 2019. And then I think they had some more in 2021. So the 5 members are Minji, Hanni, Danielle, Haerin, and Hyein. And we'll talk about each one of those. As you can see that Hyein is 14, so she's very young too. Although, like we said, she is connected to Rora or Hyein from Baby Monster, who's about the same age, 14. And they were in a kind of a grade school girl group together, so that's how they know each other way back from 5 years ago. So they debuted with the single Attention on July 22nd last year, and they didn't do any like Baby Monster. They're like doing this whole tease and showing each member and kind of getting you built up over a long period of time. With New Jeans, they didn't do that. They just kind of released a single, Attention, with no pre-release teasers. And then the next day, they released a single called Hype Boy on July 23rd, and on the B side of that was Hurt. And this Hype Boy became a pretty good big hit. It's very popular, very catchy. Not to say that the music is very catchy. I like their music. It's kind of got a like a 90s retro R&B kind of bass to it, which is different than a lot of the other girl groups, which have more of a in mix of JYP. It's more, and even aespa and Seraphim sometimes they have this kind of jump change of melody and tempo and style and genre, all in one song. And New Jeans is kind of more traditional, or a little bit more throwback, where you've got a catchy chorus, and and what I noticed about their songs is that it really features their voices. They all have nice voices, and they're all very you can tell the difference if you listen, but they all have this nice timbre and resonance to their voice, even though they're very young, and it's just very pleasing. And also, what's interesting about them is they do some other things that are different. They don't have a leader, although Minji is the oldest, and so she kind of plays that role. But they don't really have any, defined positions like main rapper, lead singer, main dancer. They don't really define it that way. But you can make your own, designations if you want. But they also have a little bit different feel to them. They kind of feel young and fresh because not only are the songs kind of catchy and obviously they're young and they're beautiful and fresh, I guess. But also the way they dance, the choreo is very youthful, but it's not all perfectly synchronized. It's they kind of do a little bit. They allow a little bit of flexibility in their choreo. If you watch them live or on the videos, you can see that they have some similar moves, but they're not all doing it perfectly on the same way. There may be a little bit of layer to it. One might be raising their arm up, and the other one may be doing something else with their arm, the next beat, and another one is doing something else. But they're all kind of doing something that's similar with the other arm. So they allow for a little bit of, it's not imperfection, it's kind of planned imperfection. It kind of makes it feel more casual. And the other thing to do is they came out with their own app, called Phoning. So they have their own app, and so they can talk directly to their fans. So a lot of good things that they've done there that Hyein has kind of learned from BTS and all the things that they've done for them to engage. So Eugene is going to be probably a formidable competitor in the fourth generation girl group to whatever Baby Monster does. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other, if you go back maybe 3.5, with G Idol and ITZY, they obviously been out there for 3-4 years and been successful. But now with this whole new slew of fourth generation girl groups in the last year or so, 2 years, I can't keep track of them all. That Eugene's kind of sticks out, being different, in my opinion. And so they debuted 4 songs on their EP on August 1st. So that was their official kind of, launch, I guess. They did these pre-releases. They did the single releases, and then the EP came out on August 1st. And they added Cookie to the songs that were released. And they had like Attention, Hype Boy, Bird, and Cookie. And then they performed at KCON, Saudi Arabia in December 2022 last year. So that was only a few months after they debuted. They were live on stage in Saudi Arabia. I guess it was Riyadh. I'm not sure what it was, but it was a big venue. And they were there with a lot of other KCON groups. And then they, in December, they released a song I really like called Ditto. And Ditto, is a great song. It's well constructed, and the music video is really interesting. It's almost like a movie, almost like a coming of age movie. There's an A side to the music video and a B side. I mean, the song is the same, but there's the video concept of it. It's kind of really interesting where they take in. They kind of make you feel like maybe you're the bunny. Bunny is their fan group. They're bunny. They're bunnies too, but they call their fan bunny. So it makes you feel like it's a throwback also to a camcorder, and so it kind of fits the genre that they're trying to fit in. It kind of goes back to maybe whenever that camcorders were around 2000s or 1990s, and so you kind of live with the group. It's really well done. I think the director was written directed by him. The director kind of does this kind of feeling, kind of dreamy, kind of flashback. Very well done. So, but I like the music. The Ditto is, I like the music. It's really well done and nice and comfortable and warm. And you really hear their voices. It really features their voices. If you watch the music video, if you see it out there, Ditto, it's very good. And it hit the billboards. Hot 100 at 85, so in the charts globally, and they came out just in January with OMG. This is not OMG like G Idol, which was pretty intense, but It's their own OMG, and it's more boppy, it's more fun, and it's got a good song too. And it hit number one in the Korean charts, from the Korean charts, and sold 700,000 copies in the first week. So first week of release. So they're doing very well, and they're hitting the variety shows, all these things. And they're very cute, and they're very well spoken. They're very articulate. So none of this shy, awkward. You don't know. 14, 16, 17, they're very calm, very articulate, thoughtful. They have a really good vibe to it. So hats off to Hyein and Dora and to Minji for creating that vibe for them. And so let's go look at each member. So Kim Minji is her real name, and she's 18. She's a 2004 liner there. I think she's 18. And she's Korean. She's a Taurus. There's 3 Taurus on this group out of 5 girls. I think there's 3 of them that are Taurus, that are bull. The Taurus is an earth sign. So they're very determined. They like the home. I think they should like to be home. Anyway, and she's a monkey. Chinese Chinese astrology. So very intelligent, witty, good with people, that kind of thing. She speaks English, and she kind of did some homestay study in Canada. So she's pretty good in English. And then she's also the most athletic of the members, because she did a little. They all did a little athlete kind of testing, kind of a standard Korean testing for a student, junior high and high school, and she was ranked, in the top tier in all the tests. So she won like $1 million from the show. It's whatever that million won is, about $10,000. I calculate that. She won $1 million. And she lots of gifts for it. Everybody makes her happy. But she's very athletic and very strong and physically. And she was offered, the former head of SM Entertainment offered her come to SM Entertainment and be part of a new girl group and be the center of the girl group. So, so she got a lot of attention there. She decided to stay at Hyein, in the door, and pushed out for her because she might have gotten lost in the shuffle and they had to wait longer. She's 5'6", so she's an ESTJ, ST for MBTI, Myers-Briggs. Okay. So that's Minji. So let's see what's going on with Minji, from a future point of view, looking forward. Because it's been a great 6 months so far for the whole group. And so let's see what it says moving forward for Minji. Says there's going to be some surprises that may come up, in the next 3 months. They have to do with maybe authority, maybe her agency, maybe it's just other companies that want to kind of get on the bandwagon with her and maybe give her some offers. Maybe it's that's TV shows, entertainment shows. Or photo shoots or something, but this tiger represents authority, and so something about some authority that may influence your life. There's going to be some surprises come up here in the next few months as things evolve. And so the more honest she is with herself, the more clarity she has about what to do. Um, I'm not sure if that's going to be something with a hive or a door. That, but it seems like there's going to be something about writing, either contracts or maybe something that has to do with documents or paperwork or writing. I think to say that the more honest she is with herself, the more clarity she has about what it might be. So, I don't know if she's going to be have an opportunity to do a little bit of writing. If they do a little bit of writing, there's a little bit of freedom with Eugene, which is different than a lot of other girl groups. Just kind of take what they're told. Some of the other members will cover when she other members haven't had an opportunity to kind of adjust some of the lyrics and do something, but the creative process. But she may have something going on in upstream that has to do with something that she, it has to do with some contracts or writing or something of that sort. And the more she's honest with herself about it, the more she wants to, she knows what to do. And it says she's going to be very happy in the fall. Everything kind of comes together for her very successfully. And she's going to be very happy about it. We all can come to the center. It's joining the represents coming together to the center. And it represents this Joe Wang that is in happiness. She's going to be happy about something that, maybe she's created or been a part of or maybe got a contract for it. That turns out very well for her by the fall. And that's going to make her feel a little more creative and maybe more wanting to express herself more in a creative way, in kind of a female way. She's kind of a quiet leader for Eugene. She's not really, overt in her leadership, but she is kind of a quiet leader, and she's good. Very good talent. So that's what it says for Minji and Eugene. She's the oldest. And so let's go to the next person. And it says it's going to be Hanni. That's her stage name. Her real name is Han, and she is Vietnamese. She's Vietnamese Australian. She's from Australia. I think she's from the Melbourne area. Judging by her accent. I think she's in that area. And Victoria. And she's Vietnamese. And she's a Libra. And she's a monkey in 2004. And she speaks Vietnamese, English, and Korean. And her Myers-Briggs is INFP, so I think she's an introvert, but I think she's maybe an ENFP. She's pretty extroverted, but she's the shortest one, 5'3", 161 centimeters. But she's got a really mature skill set because she can sing very well. And obviously she can dance. They all can dance well and sing well. But I saw her on a show that just featured her and with the host who's a singer as well. And she sang 3 songs and a duet, all and with minimal accompaniment in music. That was just like a keyboard, so it was almost a cappella. She's got a very well-trained voice and skill set. And it came across really well. In fact, she plays the guitar. She plays the ukulele and the guitar. The guitar she's learning, but she plays the ukulele. And I don't have the clip here, but she played the guitar and sang one of my favorite songs in K-pop. It turns out one of her mother's favorite songs in K-pop too, produced by IU, his little sister. IU, a famous soloist and actress. And it's Into the Night. And that's a beautiful song, and really beautiful song. And I've always liked people like you, and Hanni sang it while accompanying herself on the guitar. So that's Hanni, and let's see the talent say for her. Very cute personality. Very lovely. it turns out, in the fortune telling business here in California, because we're in Silicon Valley, San Jose, there's a large Vietnamese community here, and I have a lot of Vietnamese friends, and I love Vietnamese food, and I have over 250 Vietnamese clients that's come to get a reading. So, and personally, I lived in Vietnam when I was a kid, for about over a year. So that's where I first learned to like, pho, eat noodle soup, and other Vietnamese dishes. So, kind of, so I'm familiar with the culture to a degree. And so Hanni is Vietnamese from Australia. I have a friend who's the same Vietnamese from Australia. So let's see what it says for Hanni moving forward. Seems like there may be there's something that maybe she's doing that may be creative, that she wants to express herself, maybe working with others in some way. And it turns out, I don't know if I put it on the notes here, but she did do some writing. She I think she was the one that changed some of the lyrics for, I'm not sure if it was Hype Boy or another song, Ditto. I think it was Hype Boy. So she kind of did some input on the lyrics, so she had room for some creative expression. And she might want to do that some more here in the next few months. This represents kind of a creative, represents, kind of the performing arts, be on stage performing, but also creativity and harmony. There may be something that she does with another person that may be developed or maybe focused on in the next few months in some way. And it says that that's going to lead to kind of a nice connection and a more emotional connection to the music and the group. And that's going to turn out to be good luck. Maybe that's going to be leveraged a little bit, maybe utilized somewhat. Like I said, she did do some adjustments to, I think it was Hype Boy, and in the lyrics and how the intro started. And the other person that did something like that was, I think, Danielle, who is also from Australia. So we'll look at her next or down the road. So maybe there's something going on there where they creatively do something together. It seems that there may be something like that. And it's going to turn out to be good luck and good connection. And that's going to make her kind of decide, that maybe she wants to do something that, I don't know how fast Hive is going to let, or Adore is going to let this group evolve, because they've already kind of moved really quickly. They've released 6 songs in 6 months. But maybe more coming down the pipeline. Maybe there's going to be maybe some a duet or maybe individual things that maybe we decided toward the end of the year. And I feel like, she needs to be flexible, adaptable, and I feel like she's going to kind of reach some of her goals or objectives that she wants to accomplish. So they're really on a fast track here as far as what they're accomplishing and how they put themselves out there and what their agency is allowing them to do. There's quite a bit of freedom, which is great to see. And they're really talented, so it looks like there's going to be a lot of things coming up for Hanni that have to do with expression in, I don't know, a subgroup or maybe a collab or a duet or a solo. But you check her out, look up New Jeans and Hanni, and I can't remember the name of the show, but you can see her individual talent is very strong. So there may be a way to express that moving forward, according to the titles. So thank you, Em. You're really good, so I appreciate knowing about you. So let's go to the next person. This is going down in age. So this is the other person I mentioned, Danielle, who is also from Australia. But she's got a Korean mother and an Australian father, so she's mixed. And she has a very exotic look to her. In fact, she kind of looks like an actress I really like, which is Kim Yoo-jung. Backstreet Rookie and all the historical dramas. She's been acting since she was 4. She's 22 or 23. She kind of looks similar. And she's Danielle is 17. Her real name is Danielle March. Her Korean name would be Mojike. And this Mo kind of surname in Korean is very rare. Really about 20,000 Mo's in all of Korea. So it's unique surname. I guess that's from her mother's side. And then from her father's side, it's Danielle March. She's 17. She's a 2001? 411? Yeah, I guess she's going to turn 18 maybe in a couple months. And she's an Aries. Aries are very driven and ambitious, very movement oriented. She's very talented in a lot of different areas. And she's a rooster. She's just very gregarious and outgoing. She's very articulate. If you watch her interviews, she's probably the best spoken in English or Korean, but certainly English. She's very, she could be a spokesperson. And she's an extrovert ENFP. She's 5'5", 165 centimeters. So that's Danielle. And so let's see what the calculate for Danielle moving forward. So let's focus on Danielle. And see what it says here. So, okay, so I got some tiles here. So kind of quick overview for the 2023 as well. There's going to be something new that she's going to be working on too. That may have a creative nature to it, a performing nature to it over the next few months. It's Bob represents the start of something new. And then with the flute we had before, the string instrument symbolizing the performing arts. And maybe also some creativity and harmony. And it seems like there may be some type of other person as well. So I don't know if this has to do with what we said for Hanni, but maybe there's something there. We'll see when that comes out, that they work on something together perhaps, either in the writing side or maybe the performing side. We'll see. But it opens up a door for her and whoever she's working with. There's going to be an opportunity there that comes out of that, probably in the spring to summer. And that's going to lead to, kind of some disciplined patience for the second half of the year, where she's going to be, trying to be disciplined patient to all the things she has to do. And also, I think she's trying to maybe work and improve on certain areas of her skills. I mean, she's very talented in all areas, but she's an all-rounder, really. She's kind of an ace, as you might say in K-pop terms. There's something that she's working on, wants to do, and she's going to, kind of figure out how to move that in that direction. And then there's going to be something new that she does with the group. Probably a comeback in the end of the year that works, that has to do with Minji and the whole team. So she might be doing something, that is a little bit with one person, or in a creative way. In the next few months, next 6 months or so, and then it's back to maybe the group, the team, as well. So we'll see how that plays out. But I would say that might be a possibility for these titles. And so that's Danielle. And the fourth member is Haerin, Haerin, and she is 16. She's 2006. She's in the one of these Taurus. I mentioned it's all over. And she's a dog, and Chinese Pharita. And she speaks Korean. She speaks in English, maybe not as fluently as the rest, as certainly as the Australians, but she does speak English, but she's not quite as comfortable to do it. She prefers to speak Korean. So I think she'll last. There's two youngest ones for the Korean like ask complicated questions, but they speak some English, um, so that's Haerin, and so let's see what's going on with her moving forward as well. So, mm-hmm. Up moving. Up here. Okay, so for Haerin, says that she is kind of really focusing on improving her capabilities and skills, her all her skills, communication skills, obviously her dancing, singing, stage presence kind of skills. Um, I mean, everybody supports her in the group, but I would say that she's a little bit, because of her age, and she's a little bit more shy in some degree. I mean, when she's with the girls and they're just having fun, it's great girl grade, but maybe in a more formal setting. So she's kind of thinking about how to, move forward, and now that she's debuted for 6 months, and how to improve her, her social and communication skills, I think. And she knows it's going to take a long time, but she's really trying to work on it. And I think it's going to be something that she really wants to do. It involves a little bit of risk, but it kind of comes together. The circumstances come together pretty well. In about around the summertime, spring to summer, it's going to be very successful for her, or it's going to work out well. And that's going to lead for her to maybe think about a commitment that has to do with maybe somebody else. So this is interesting. I don't know if there's pairing off in some way, or do some things, projects together and groups. Some of their choreo. It's interesting when you watch their choreo. They break off into like 3 and 2. Sometimes they do kind of split it up. So kind of a different take on how it's not everybody doing the same thing all the time. You have some individual variances, and then you kind of sometimes get into these 3 and 2 kind of combos. But it says that maybe something she's going to be committing to that has to do with another person, probably in the fall. I don't know what that is exactly. I'm only 16, so don't expect too much out of that. But maybe there's something that has to do with the group, and that's going to be part of her, process of learning and maturing and growing. Because this peacock shows up again, it says she's maybe, kind of working on some long-term project. The same two towels shows up here. The same two towels show up here, the peacock and the jade. So the peacock represents, most often her, and that she's changing the way she sees herself, and she realizes she's not just that person she's been, that little teenager, but she's now out there in the world, very popular, doing very well, and so she's realizing her life is changing as a person, as moving into an adult, and maybe the way she sees herself as a female, and her power, strength, and representation. And the jade represents something that has to do with some long-term plans that has some intrinsic value here now, but she knows it's going to take time and effort to realize that full value. So it says that might be going on for the whole year here with maybe some different things. And it says that she goes to the end of the year, there's going to be the same thing. It's kind of checking in and reaffirming what has she accomplished and how she's grown. And she's going to see tremendous growth along this long-term continuum to kind of continue to increase the talents and ability as a K-pop idol and as part of the team. So she's pretty determined too. She's an introvert though, ISTP. So, so maybe it's going to take her a little bit longer, but she's working on it. She's definitely working on it, and she's watching it keep improving. So, fighting, gambate, to Haerin. So the last member is the youngest, the Mac name, and her name is Hyein, and I think Hyein is. I think she's the tallest. She's the youngest and the tallest. She's the maknae. She's only 14. So some people are saying like baby monster. Wow, they're like, they're too young. They're 13 or 14. Well, new genes. She's 14 too, but she has a lot of experience. This is the girl that is connected to baby monster and Rora. That they both were part of this little 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl group performing 7 little grade school girls. I think called USOO.1 or something like that. You can find out. But they were part of the same group, so they're connected. They're friends because they performed together. 5 years ago. They were 9. So she's the third Taurus. So another Taurus, and she's a rat. For a year, and she speaks Korean and English. Her English is not as good as obviously Danielle and Hanni and Minji, but it's if she needs to, she can speak really well. Kind of Karen. She prefers to speak Korean when she has to do more than just a few words. And she's the tallest too. She's the tallest. She's 5'7". So she's the youngest. She's the tallest. But she's got a lot of experience in so and she's with Hyein and Rora and Baby Monster. And she was INFP, but she was ENFP. So she's a little bit shy, but when she gets going, she's pretty. She puts herself out there. It turns out, even though she's the tallest and all that, maybe because she's the youngest, but in the sports challenge, everybody said she's the worst. I mean, all her members pointed to her as being the worst. But she's still developing there, so she'll overtake Minji as far as the sports athlete. But that's Hyein. So let's see what the towns say about Hyein. Okay, so for Hyein says that she's going to be planting some seeds, like a farmer, kind of putting things into motion that she wants to see that how they can develop and how they be harvested down the road. There's going to be things that she feels in harmony with, so the things that she wants to kind of accomplish, and just her own goals. But she's going to be kind of feeling things out, maybe with the help of her agency. And I think she's probably going to have some modeling opportunities. Excuse me, because of her height, and she's attractive, and she kind of leans that way as far as her attractiveness and using that. So she might be interested in doing some that activity and feeling it out, a modeling gig, that kind of thing. I mean, I think they all will have modeling gigs, but I think they all have some, not all of them, but at least some of them have some relationships already with some luxury brands. I didn't put it down here, but they do. And there's certainly some good luck. But I'd say some discussions, communications, and good luck on her way. Probably around May, June, July. And there's going to be some things that she's going to try to overcome. There's some resistance because of her age. There's going to be some opportunities that are not going to be available to her. So, that's something that she's determined to try to find a way to move forward and over time overcome with some with her look and her what she wants to project out there as her look. So it's tricky because she's so young, and that's going to lead to some things that she's going to find in harmony and that are with the group again, with the 7 members. So there's definitely, I won't be surprised if there's going to be some kind of release that's going to happen within the year, um, like they did last year, and for the group. So, I think they're going to be busy, doing a lot of things here. They were very busy this year, working in the studios, there's a common theme for all of them. Certainly for the end of the year, looks like there may be some individual challenges or growth that they all want to do and express themselves. So very great to see, that they have some creative freedom and have been given some room. It's interesting. They did a couple of the things that are unique to them that I found out in an interview with Hanni. Is that typically a group people get a voice guide. They get this song and they hear the voice. There's somebody who's singing it as a voice guide to help them kind of you know translate what's on paper into what's in the music into a song. But what's interesting is that they they don't use voice guides, which is very unusual because the idea is they don't, the producers, I guess me, Tatum, who is, kind of creating this team, wants them to have, a way to express their own style, discover their own style, and maybe as a group kind of figure out their own style instead of, being saying this is the style that, is coming from the producers. And then when you look at the choreo, even though it's been choreographed, it's probably not a large group of choreographers. It's probably one or maybe two, and then they allow for a little bit of a adjustment. So it's not like they're all trying to be perfect, high polished, fully in sync choreo. They kind of have a little bit of playfulness, a little bit of variation that kind of makes them feel comfortable. Not so high strung and not so perfect. It kind of makes them more approachable. And so if you add, this choreo style, and you add maybe a little bit more freedom to maybe find their own groove and how they voice the song, and then you add maybe a little bit of room to do some creativity and get input from them. I think this is going to be encouraged by their leadership, their agency, and that's going to make them very unique. And they all have good talent, so you can probably take advantage of that and get make more out of their experience of being an idol, not being so straitjacket, and be able to express their creative talent and also benefit from it by exploring their skill set and trying new things. And as they write and what have you, get credit and get money. I mean, songwriting can be very lucrative. So this is great to see for a group. It's very unusual to the best of my knowledge, for a K-pop group. They have this kind of flexibility and freedom. Right. So that's it for Eugene, and that's it for, at least for now, for Damon. And so we're going to have one more baby monster that's going to be revealed, so we'll see that the next time, perhaps. So like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, please add them. So I have some requests. We got some requests as well. And so until next time, we'll see you all.